Ahoy, everyone, and welcome to another live stream. I know, two in one week. What an absolute treat! And what a treat we do have for you today. We have the legendary Dr. J. Smith in the house with us to deal with Islam. Dr. J. Smith, how are you doing, brother?
Well, pretty good. Thanks for having me on, Sam. I don't know, have we been on before?
No, we haven't been on before. But it's good to have you here, and it's an absolute blessing to have your expertise and knowledge to bless us with today. So, for those who may not know you, could you perhaps give us a little bit of an introduction as to who you are, how long you've been doing this, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you can tell by my gray hair, I'm in my 70s. I have been working in the Islamic world for over 40 years, 43 years now. I was born in India. My father was born in India. My grandparents are buried there, so are my parents. I don't plan to be buried there, but that's where I grew up. So I grew up in North India where all the Muslims are. And that's why I've grown up with Muslims all my life. I've had roommates, classmates. And I guess that's why have been working with Islam for over 40 years. I have a two master's degree and a PhD in Islamic polemics, and that's what I am. I'm a polemicist, and for those of you who don't know what that means, I go on the offense. So I take on Islam, I debate them, I confront them, and especially in the last 10 years or so, I have been debating Muslims and confronting them on the historical origins of Islam, how Islam actually began. We have a master's degree program that we started here in the United States, about 4 or 5 years ago, which is comes out of Veritas International University. It's an accredited master's degree called MAPI, Master of Art in Apologetics and Polemics to Islam. Apologetics is defense, as you know, Sam, and then polemics would be offense, both apologetics, defense, and offense. So we both defend the faith and we confront others. But in my case, I confront Islam.
Great stuff. And it's really a battleground out there, isn't it? Well, it certainly can be. I mean, I've seen footage of Speaker's Corner, especially of Hatun Tash, which I know you worked with very closely previously. Being violently attacked and things, these sorts of things. So I do hope that you take relevant protection with you. You might need a bodyguard soon if this carries on. But
well, Sam, listen,
no.
I was at Speaker's Corner for 25 years, long before Hatun Tash. In fact, I trained her up. She came in about 2013. I was there since 1992, every Sunday, and it was much more violent in the 1990s than it is now. And the only reason you even know about the violence is because of the smartphone. We didn't have smartphones back in the 1990s. We didn't have internet to record what was happening there. We got beat up all the time. I got my glasses broken numerous times. They opened up my throat. So I'm used to this. This is nothing new to me. Once 9/11 happened, once we had the atrocities there in New York and Washington, then suddenly Islam changed its narrative and it became a religion of peace. It became much more peaceful, and it has been ever since. So when something does arise and they do start using violence again, as you've seen with Hatun Tash, that gets all over the news, and that's why you know about it.
Yep. Yeah, precisely. But I think it's good to highlight these issues within Islam and to show sort of like what is especially when you see what's happening within the UK currently, where I'm at. You're seeing sort of the introduction of these supposed Islamophobic laws and a real sort of push to you're not allowed to say anything negative about Islam. And I just sort of I worry for the future personally, because it's essentially it's internal jihad in a way, where it's sort of slowly and carefully being placed into society, peaceful, and then once there's enough of the Muslims around, they take over the culture, implement Sharia law, that sort of thing. Is that sort of what you see happening on a regular basis in your line of work? And has it happened before? Like, what sort of
Especially in Britain, more than probably any other country in Europe. Britain is by far much further gone and I travel all over the world. I'm in about 76 countries, just got back from Nigeria and from Ethiopia. I'll be back in Britain again this month. I come back and forth all the time because I spent 25 years there in London. And I did all the debates. Remember, I was the one, when I started debating Muslims in 1995, I was the first one to do a formal debate at Cambridge University with Dr. Jamal Badawi on the historicity of the very same topic I'm doing now, the origins of Islam. 1995, that's 30 years ago. And because of that, I started being called on to all the university campuses by the Christian societies who were being challenged by the ISOCs, Islamic societies on campus. So almost every major university in Britain I've been on, and I've done debates. And I did debate after debate after debate on a multiplicity of subjects until 2010. And in 2010, the NUS there in Britain was approached by Muslims saying that I was Islamophobic and I was a hate preacher because I was quoting their own scriptures and I was quoting their own texts showing that the Prophet Muhammad was a very violent man. That's all I was doing, was quoting their own material, and I was called an Islamophobe, and I was then pretty much thrown off of every campus. So I've had this hit me personally, Sam, long before you were hearing it. Now it's raising its head again with these grooming gangs that are all over the news right now. That would not be all over the news had Elon Musk not said something. He misquoted what he said. That's true, and that's become the story, that he misquoted two phrases without saying what is he talking about and why is it that he's even interested in what's going on in Britain of all places, because no one's done anything about Islamic violence, and they certainly have not done anything about these thousands of girls that were raped by uniquely Muslim men. Most of them Pakistanis, not all of them, to be fair. And so that's why, yes, I know this personally. I've had it done personally in me. I've had to be on the other end of Islamophobia, had it targeted at me. And to this day, I can't go on university campuses even when I come back there because I'm a persona non grata, just because of the fact that I confronted Islam with its own authority.
Yeah. And it is such a shame, and especially now, there's a real sort of it feels sort of like a real kick in the teeth. Recently, after having the debate in Parliament as to whether there should be an inquiry into these grooming gangs, and being overwhelmingly shot down by the sitting government, it sort of begs the question as to whether they're hiding things.
Now, here's an interesting, Sam. Why is it almost every country in Europe is turning to the right except Britain?
Sorry, can you say that again? Sorry, you cut out a little bit.
Why is almost every country in Europe turning to the right, bringing in right-wing governments except Britain? You've turned to the left.
I have, well, from what I can tell anyway, people were sick and tired as to how the previous government handled things. They wanted change.
And they want to change by moving to the left, by by basically giving themselves over to them. Listen, on this subject, on Islam especially, they pretty much can say and do anything they want now. Did nobody care about this? Was not anybody aware of this, that this is going to be brought to the fore?
I don't know. That's the question.
Why is it that a question and something that you're not familiar with? This should be something you should be intimately familiar with. There has never been this type of rapes in any culture that I know of in modern history, and yet none of you, even you, aren't even aware of what's happened, what's going on. To me, that's an indictment against your news press, your news media. Something's going on that it takes not an American, a South African living in America to bring it back to the fore again. We've been trying to say it for years. I don't know how many times I got up there at Speaker's Corner and tried to raise the issue and tried to hold up pictures of some of these girls. We knew them personally, and I got shut down and I got lambasted even by Christians. Anyhow, I don't want to take it off on the whole grooming gang thing, because this is a problem that you do have in Britain that you're going to have to deal with. But that's just symptomatic of your original question, and that is, what is going on? What is it about Islam that seems to be unique, and why is it that we're not paying attention to it? I think hopefully, maybe this issue will bring back to the attention that there is a real cancer in your country. And I have to say it, and I said it so many times, Islam is a cancer, not Muslims. Muslims are not the problem. It's Islam that's the problem. And it's what their scriptures say and what their prophet did that is the problem. And that's why, I just bleed for these Muslims. I love these guys and gals. I've spent 40 years working with them. And I'm appalled by what their scriptures and what their prophet has done to them. And I want to get them out of that, and I want to bring them home. Because Jesus Christ completely stands against everything they believe. And that's why I love Jesus Christ, not just because I'm a Christian, but because of the answers and the responses he has, in contradistinction to what Islam gives.
Amen. Amen to that, Jay.